Deon here from Woodelfman Gaming. Yesterday we built the Table of Doom. Very excited. I could hardly sleep all night. In fact, I've got a really sore back from all the excitement. Don't know how that works. It's called age. I've got two new friends here today. That's Jean over there. Jean, how's it going?
Good, yeah.
Good. He's good with the ladies for about 2 days. Jean brought all his stuff. Okay, so what we're going to do today, we're going to do a bit of painting, a bit of crafting. So this table's, we're not building today. What we're doing today is working on the miniatures. I'm going to show you some of the projects we're working on. That over there is Leena. How's it, Leena?
Hi guys.
Okay, now Leena, tell us what do you got here today? What's the project we're working on?
Right, so I have a Ruin Father on Magma Droth.
Magma Droth. Now, Magma Droth is a very, very scaly dragon dog horse camel. Okay.
That crawls around in lava.
That crawls around in lava, and it's got a dwarf with a major hairstyle attitude on the top and a giant axe.
Well, that's the idea.
Okay, now what are you going to do? You're going to paint that today?
Yes, I'm going to paint that today.
Okay.
I have got a pretty interesting paint scheme that I want to try out. Don't know if it's going to work.
And what is this? Are you doing it like a painting?
No.
Picture? Oh, you know. Okay.
This is my own idea for a wet palette. So basically...
Oh, let's see. Wet palettes.
So
okay.
This is just a bit of foam that I cut out. It's not really professional, but yeah.
Okay, hold on. What's a wet palette? Let's just start there. Now, like, I'm one of those guys, I'm like the muggle geek, right? Like, speaking plain English. What the hell's a wet palette? What's a wet palette?
Okay, so basically a wet palette is there to keep your paints wetter for longer. So a lot of times, especially when you're using thin tipped brushes, the paint will dry very fast as you paint because there's not a lot of moisture on your brush tip. So you can put a bit of paint on your wet palette, and the palette, as the name says, is wet. So it'll keep the paint wet for a much longer period of time, making the paint flow more easily. The positive result of this is during your painting job, everything is just going to look a lot smoother. So your paint will be less grainy. It's a good idea to invest in a wet palette, guys.
Okay, so I use and they have not paid me to say this, the Army Painter wet palette. At the top you can keep your brushes. I don't know why you'd want to keep your brushes in your wet palette. To me that's just a weird gimmick. And
obviously not when it's being used.
And I think I've moved this around too much. And inside there is some foam. So let me show you. That's like a piece of foam which you drench in water. And on the top, this piece of paper is effectively kitchen wax paper, right? And the idea is you use the paints here, and it keeps them wet because water is being drawn up into the paper the whole time. So that's what a normal wax...
Stick your finger in the paint to show us that it's still wet?
It's still wet from yesterday. Now, normally that would take 4 minutes and it'd be dry if you were just painting on a dry palette. So what is it doing is it's allowing you, firstly, to not use 5 times as much paint as you would normally use on a dry palette. Secondly, what it's allowing you to do is paint with wet paint, which just makes you a better painter, doesn't it?
It does.
So now, tell me how the hell that's turning into a wet palette. Or tell the camera.
So I had a bit of an issue with the wet palettes that they generally use that have the edges. So I designed this to be a flat wet palette where I can raise my brushes and stuff easy. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to drench this in a bit of water, and I'm going to put my wax paper over it, and then I will just scooch everything neatly into that little block.
Ah, so it doesn't have raised edges. Your hands
Yes.
Okay.
So it's a nice, smooth,
Clever.
easy way to do a wet palette.
Well done.
My project for today is the Tetris base I started yesterday. As you all saw, I had done the basic basing. Because some of these tiles fell out, I actually thought I'd use the mechanic because it's kind of a broken down building. So I kind of skewed up some of the tiles. I put a pile of wood glue in there. I've what do you call this?
Mod Podge?
No, spray base coat. I've base spray coated thinged this, but now it's Mod Podge, so it's not going anywhere. But the idea is that it looks like broken tiles, like some kind of comet came and kind of smashed the place down in that corner. So that's what I'm looking for. And today, I am going to paint this guy. I'm going to finish off the eagle. I'm going to assemble the whole thing. And I'm hoping that by the end of today, I have a table-ready Tetris model to beat Leena's ass with. Jean's got a project. He's got a, I don't know, what's your project, Jean?
That is a good question. I'm not entirely sure where I want to continue.
This is true Jean style. Now, he's like got lots of choices. He likes to keep his options open, but he's not quite sure where he wants to resolve things. And here he's got some very, very sexy, whose models are these? These are not Games Workshop models. What is this?
I've just hit a
Raging
blank.
Heroes.
Raging Heroes. That's
Raging
the
Heroes.
one.
These are very, very sexy, dark, elfish themed girls. Just did you get that beautiful big lady here?
Just turn it around for me.
Yeah. So I ordered these in from France. They.
Look at that. That is insane. I mean, look at the size of it. Just to give you a sense of the size. Here's a spirited Gertrude.
Morale.
Look at the size of that.
I love your models.
That's crazy. So, are you thinking of her or are you thinking of this one?
I think it might be satisfying to go with the big
To go with the
one.
big one. And I see she is primed already, so
Yes.
you're ready to start painting.
Yeah, this could just.
Oh, can't wait to see that develop. So we've got Leena, who started her magma draft with the yellow feet. We've got the sexy lady, and we've got Tetris on the brand new base. Those are our 3 projects for today.
That's John's food for energy.
Oh, he started his first project, which is a chocolate croissant to go with his French lady. Oh, he's gone French themed today. French. Je suis en Deon. Deon, like Celine Dion, who's also French, but Canadian French.
And a lot prettier than you.
Well, not anymore. Did I say that? So let's look at where we've got. I'm still doing a little work on my griffin, getting those claws right, getting these wings right. I've done some base stuff here. On the Tetris base, we've got a tiled effect with like a concrete wall effect with some dry brushing. I've used some contrast paints and dry brushing on these pieces of bark. I mean, do they not look like rocks? They look insane. I'll do a little more work on this tree at some point. Next, I need to flock the bottom, get some tufts of grass everywhere, make that look cool, and then I want to start the assembly and get the model up there, man. Lena's getting her magma draft looking very magma-y. If you look a little closer, you'll see there's kind of a deep red down toward the legs there, kind of showing that magma coming through, looking nice. She's doing some bone work now on the little scraggly bones. I said go green, then I said go flame, and she said fuck you, Deon. I'm going bone, so bone's cool. And then we have a purple lady.
Yeah, it's very monotone.
So Jean has been painting her lady purple. Let's have a look at the purple lady. But it's getting there, it's getting there. It's a very interesting model that if she turns it around, you'll see that in her cape are bunches of swithing. What's it? Writhing, not writhing. Like bodies and body parts. Very cool. And Lana's joined us. Hello, Lana. Lana all the way from the west somewhere. Potchefstroom. Potchefstroom. And Lana's busy working on my reindeer for the Sisters of Thorn. So it's going to be a blue and white theme. So there you go. Have a look at these models. So this is Heather's spider model we're still working on. It's got a nice doppled. This is one of these big arachnarok spiders with like 10 little snotlings on the top. I love this model, one of my favorite models. It looks so cool and scary. And then this is my old turtle model, the Alapex from the Ideneth Deepkin. The Alapex is a giant flying sea turtle, which is really weird, with some guys on the back who shoot. And there's still some work I want to do on this, although I quite like the scheme. I want to make these little scales on the shell darker so that the green inside pops like a glowing force. I think I'm about done with Techless. It's like 97%. When I've got some inspiration, I'll go in with maybe a little detail here and there. But I'm so excited to show you. This is like part diorama, part model, and I'm going to be playing it in my next game against Leena, who's holding the camera. Have a look at Techless, ladies and gentlemen. There he is. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? Look at that motion. The eagle is just sort of flying in at an angle, ready to land. It's like cray. I'm going to do some work on the grass still and a few other things, but certainly very playable right now in its current form. Happy with that? Moving on to the next project. Oh, they always forget their words. Okay, so Leena, what have you got going on here? Let's get a bit closer to that magma drop.
Okay, so I have done the
Maybe
basic.
I should get to the side where the light shines.
Maybe a little bit better.
I can see him here.
So I've done the base coat, and I am starting to pick out the highlights now, with a little more details with the bones and stuff. I still need to do these fins at the back, and I'm busy with horns here in front, but it is turning out to be quite a beautiful paint job. I like it.
Very, very cool. And it's hard to, oh, there we go. Now we can see, you can see how that red magma look with the black crust on top coming through there. Very nice, Leena, very nice. Okay, Jean, his model's starting to take a bit of form. He was a bit despairing earlier, wondering if it would ever look like something, but if I can just get in there a little bit, you're starting to see, look at that, some of that detail coming out. Look at that cloak that he's putting together. Turn that around for me. You can see some of the shading in that cloak. It's really focused. Really starting to look good there. Coming together, Jean. Looking awesome.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to be doing with the horns versus the tentacles, to distinguish between them.
Horns versus tentacles. So there's a vote for all the viewers. Should a woman have horns or should a woman have tentacles? We don't know. Tell us. Let's see how Lana's doing with the. Oh, okay. So we've got some white reindeer. So okay. Still very much in base coating phase. Lana's taking her time, as she does with paint. And further to that, we have a kitchen where Heather is busy making some burgers for all the hungry painters. Burgers and delicious caramelized onions. If this wasn't a gaming show, it would be a cooking show. Who'll be my role model now that my role model is gone? Snuck back down the alleyway with some roly-poly little bat-faced girl. All along, there were incidents and accidents, there were hints and allegations. So we have had a day of painting. I don't know if we've done that much, but at the same time, I think we've done a really good job. The whole message here, folks, is sometimes you want to have some friends over. I find that painting on my own can be a little lonely, a little dull, right? It's still therapeutic, but as an extrovert, I like to have people around while I'm busy painting to inspire and chat and listen to some music and have a whiskey and do the things we do. So let's show you some of the stuff we've done today and just close off this session. Come and have a look down here. So this was Leena's magma drop, and you can see she's gone for a kind of a molten magma effect on the base. where the magma droth is walking on the sort of crusty rock and underneath is the lava. Very, very cool, with a very naturalized magma droth with dark, deep colors and ivory sort of bones sticking out. Very nice. So over here you see the techless model that I've made, and it's about, let's call it 90% of the way there. I still want to do some grass and finish off some little odds and ends. Nothing's ever perfect, but at some point you put your brush down and you say, hey, this is good enough, this is playable, everyone's going to love it on the table, and most importantly, I'm going to love it on the table. So that's good enough to play. Don't worry about that, I did that another time. And then I also did this today. So I've just started with the base coats of my big Avelinor model, and there's a lot more to go here, so this is about sort of 50% done, but I'm very glad with how it's turning out. The red effect with the gold and the blues popping in between. So Avelinor was one of the models. Jean has got this far on his beautiful and yet still scary and disgusting dark elf queen with a little gory half-human body in her tangled webs and little body parts sticking through the purple. But this is really a cool little touch over here, the little torso of death coming through. And then on this side, Lana is still working on the white reindeer. So now you can see. So I'm very pleased with the basic scheme there. We're going to have some nice blues and whites on my wood elves, wanderers, like the worst army in Age of Sigmar, and yet the army I love the most. Lots of good work was done here today. Most importantly, a group of friends got together, did a painting day, had tons of fun, did lots of DMCs. Is it DMC? Deep and Meaningful Conversation? Yes, DMCs. And we had a ton of fun doing it. I'm thrilled with the progress we made. Another weekend of this and we'll be able to finish off all those models and we can do some other projects. The next thing you have to look forward to is us playing those models in a battle report right here on the Table of Death. So look out in the next episode or two for your first battle report. See you later. This is Deon from Woodelfman Gaming.